listener production.
G'day, it's Rusty here, all set for part 2 of a special branded ep of Rusty's Garage with Dave Casey. Now, if you've showed up here and not caught part 1, head back to the library and hit the gas. From a Toyota he bought for a couple of $100 that started it all. The move from paddock bashing to off-road, and the wild resto that involved fitting a fire-breathing rotary into a little Suzuki four-wheel drive. Unbelievable. And an event that he's right behind that has now got truly national appeal and a special spot on the calendar too. That old saying, never judge a book by its cover, is incredibly true, and part 2 of our convo is another great example. Beneath the larrikin exterior is a proud Rockhampton man who now travels around the country chasing the SuperUte's crown. How the class has grown in stature after a tough couple of seasons, and why he's enjoying riding the wave, being able to benchmark himself against some name races, and getting guidance from people like Paul Morris, who you can find in the Garage Library, who's helped his confidence grow significantly. He is a genuine contender on race weekends now. Getting the mind match fit has been a big part of it too. And why Dave's not ruling out a return to SST, the stadium super trucks either. That chapter with Robby Gordon and Co, if it gets reignited down under, is something that appears to be unfinished business for him. Now this ep is brought to you by a mutual supporter of Dave's and ours in Bendix Brakes, who've been with us right the way throughout the garage journey. They make world-class brake upgrade kits for all sorts of applications, and Mudflap really puts them to the test in utes and four-wheel drives. We begin part 2 on the importance of experience and those who may have given some guidance on the journey so far. What about influences for you in a racing sense? Have there been people that you've maybe looked up to in the four-wheel drive scene or in circuit racing? Who are the kind of heroes that stood out or you know that you perhaps even have a relationship with?
Oh, growing up, my dad told me about Ayrton Senna. I never actually seen him race, but I'd done a lot of research and that on him growing up. I actually had to do a school project on him. We had to dress up as someone we idolised and do a speech on him. So I done it on Ayrton Senna. So I ended up learning a bit about him. And just
you're a massive HRT fan too, mate, weren't you?
Yeah,
I'm told right?
Yeah. Always loved me Holdens. Had a lot of Holden posters in my room. I loved Lowndesy and Scaife and Brocky and Tander. But it's pretty damn cool, like, to be racing in the Utes now and then to have like people you idolise growing up like Lowndes and Tander commentating on you. That's pretty pinch me moment sort of thing.
And then spun around to the back, giving this young guy from Rockhampton a start, Dave Casey, in the SWL entry, truck 121.
Yeah, always a Holden fan. And our whole family were Holden people. It's pretty cool.
Stadium Super Trucks is something that has been hugely popular with the fans of supercars. I know it's had its it's still on the calendar in some events, obviously. But tell us about how you got into it to begin with and what it is like to pilot one of those things.
Oh, yeah, they're the coolest thing you'll ever drive. How I got into it is I actually messaged Stadium Super Trucks for a long time over social media and email. Never heard anything of them. And then COVID hit and...
Yep.
I think they were just looking for something to do while we're all in lockdown at Norwell. So they gave us all a message and said, "Oh, come down if you want to have a test." So we went down for a test, and yeah, the rest is history. I met Paul Morris and a few of the other lads from Stadium Super Trucks Australia, and it was a pretty cool day. Very much a pinch me moment again, and they said, "Oh, if you want to." I think it was Tassie. Yeah, come race at Tassie and get the money together. You can have a drive. And yeah, so then I scrambled trying to find the money, and I couldn't actually I had a couple of businesses locally come on board, but it didn't cover the whole lot. So then I had to chip in a fair amount. And I thought, oh, well, if I'm going to do one round, I might as well just have a crack and do it. And went and raced Tassie. And then straight after that, we got a sponsor to cover the other rounds we done. So, yeah, it worked out well.
Amazing. Tell me about your first impressions of the trucks and what they're like. And because you do, I mean, they launch them.
Yeah,
but at the same time, there's a competitive wheel-to-wheel element, isn't there?
Casey runs in second. Rob White, who returns to the series, runs in third. There's Greg Gardner. Casey contact with White, and he's going to spin in front of the group. And we'll drive.
The first thing that you notice is actually how small they are. They look a lot bigger on TV, and then you rock up and you look at them, and they're, I'm standing taller than them. They're about the size of a Jeep Wrangler sort of thing, and I'm just like, yeah, righto. And then you get in them, but everything, obviously Robbie's highly experienced and whatnot. Everything's in the right position. You got your turn and brake, where you sit, and you got plenty of room. You got a left foot brake with them because there's a tube going through your legs, so you can't right foot brake. So you got to use two pedals. That was a bit of an eye opener because I never really done that before. So, in go-karts and that, but the other thing is the brakes on them Robbie purposely made the brakes really bad on them, which sounds stupid, but that's why they have competition cautions every 4 to 5 laps, because the brakes are completely fried on them. They've got to have a lap to cool them down. So that took a lot to get used to, because if you just go and slam the brakes on, for 1 or 2 laps, you got nothing for another 3. So that was a lot to get used to. The steering, they're 1-to-1 steering, so like about that much lock is full lock one way, and that much lock is full lock. So that's why
like a go-kart almost. It's just very minimal.
Yeah, so like that's why you see some of them sometimes when they land, and you might jolt yourself, and that's because the steering's so 1-to-1 on them. They might have, they're darting off everywhere. Yeah, they got a turning brake, or a handbrake. You got to pinch on that to get rid of understeer during corners. They're pretty cool. They're just set up so well because Robbie's got so much experience. But you've really got to be, like the drivers in them are extremely talented. They know them back to front. There's a technique with them which is
cool,
very, very specific.
How long did it take to sort of get familiar with that technique then? And when did you feel at home in it?
Probably like Darwin, a couple of rounds in it, sort of thing. Yeah, it's and just to have other trucks jumping around you like so high in the air, and bash in India, it's full on. It's not like nothing you can explain.
I love the fact that you brought up some of the names there before too, from Paul Morris to Robby Gordon and more. What has it been like competing against some of those guys there? I mean,
Russell Ingall, I never would have thought I would have been on the grid next to him, sort of thing. Like Toby Price, like someone you look up to, inspire to, and you're lining up on the grid next to him, and meet along the way. It's just very cool. There's all the blokes in the whole category, they're all top blokes too. So they just they come up and shake your hand. How you going, mate? And then you're friends for life. Paul Wheel's another one. He's a great bloke. Yeah. I actually had a bit of a crash with him in Darwin, but he came up to me afterwards, and so, we're all sweet. Like not many blokes would do that. So great bloke. There's a handful of them.
I mean, the fact that you're conversing with Russell Ingall or Paul Morris and Robby Gordon, I mean, his CV, mate, is pretty impressive, and he's instrumental in that category or class of racing, isn't he?
Yeah. Like he didn't get over our way much during COVID. It was just so hard. But he was always he was always there watching and putting his 2 bobs worth in from beaming in from the other side, kind of like you are now. But he's obviously a top bloke and very, very knowledgeable in the whole motorsport scene, as you said.
Tell me about the move into SuperUtes. This is something relatively new on the supercars offering these days. It's actually, I think this year probably more than ever, it's really started to hit its straps. Tell us how you got involved in it and how all that came about.
Yeah, look, it's definitely, you're correct there. It's definitely in its straps. But how we got involved in it. So when the trucks left, I had Bendix already lined up for the following year. Full season, full coverage on the truck. They wanted to go all out with it. And then
Stadium Super Trucks you're talking here, aren't you? So yep.
And I think we got the news about October that the trucks are going back to America. They don't know when they're coming back, so I was pretty devastated. I'm like, what am I going to do now? And I rang Paul Morris, and I said, I really, really want to stay within the supercar scene. This is me. I'm loving it so much, and I've got Bendix lined up. Do you reckon I can get in a Ute? Because it's market relevant to all their dual cabs now. And he rang Luke Cedars for me, who's the head dude of Cedars Racing, and and then Luke rang me and said, you want to come test a Ute? So got on a plane and went and tested a Ute, and we're sitting here now talking about it 2 years in.
So where was that test? Tell me about the Ute and so on.
Wakefield.
Yep. South of Sydney, near Goulburn there. Yep.
Yeah, we went there because they're a Sydney-based team, obviously, and we didn't really want to go to SMP straight up because it's a pretty high-speed track, and you don't want to throw people in that you don't really know into a track like that and potentially ride off the whole car. So we went to Wakefield. And the first couple of laps were pretty slow, but then we started getting into the swing of things. They're very different to drive. They're very similar to a V8 supercar, but they're H-pattern box, so you got a heel toe and all that. So I had to get that crisp and just the whole the turning and braking of them is a very specific technique to what way different to the trucks, obviously. So it took a fair while to get used to that. After the day, I think I went for another test at SMP then, and then Luke's like, do you want to race this year? So then I went back to Bendix and said, here's what we got. I got offered this drive in the SuperUtes. It's market relevant. It's appealing to the people with your brake upgrade kits and your forward drive community. I think we should go down this path? And they came back to me and said, yeah, let's do it. And it's been a really good relationship ever since.
Let's talk about a couple of things here. Firstly, the transition to circuit racing, something very different really from the four-wheel drive competition that you were used to, and even, diametrically different to Stadium Super Trucks.
Yeah.
What sort of training did you have? And did you go to Norwell a bit more with Paul Morris? Where did you go to sort of hone the circuit racing skills? Because that's so different, Dave.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, it is. It's massively different. Luke Cedars started a fairly extensive driving program with me in the first year. It was a massive learning curve. I think I got to the bend last year and I was pretty down. I had a pretty bad round there. And then Luke said, I think you should start talking to Lee Stimation from Reaction Performance. Oh, yeah. I reached out to Lee and he rang me straight after the round. He said, look, I can't do anything with you this weekend really, but we'll start working with you like the week after the bend round. And it's pretty much the best thing I've ever done. Like, he's sort of taken me under his wing. The whole package from, mental preparation, physical preparation, sim training to he's my engineer on the cans on the weekend to looking at data. Excellent. So, and just someone to talk to about everything, because you're with someone that much and you can just keep bouncing off each other. So our relationship is very, very strong at the moment, and at the start of this year, like, as we really done a lot of training in the off season. So yeah, a lot of physical, mental, neuro training, sim work.
How have you found that?
How have you found that?
It was a massive eye opener, mate. Especially that neuro stuff. Like, I just
That's quite different for you, mate, isn't it?
Yeah. It's so different, but it's pretty cool to learn about yourself and who you actually are, and what your weaknesses and strengths are. And we're still learning about myself now. Like, it's, racing is a lot of it is mental. Just getting ready mentally before a race and having a preparation and procedure we've got that down pat now, and just the differences that makes is just outstanding. At the start of the year, we really nutted out what we needed to do, because Cedars went and built me a new car, a new Isuzu D-Max, and Bendix came on board again. So we're like, righto, we really need to step it up a notch here. And so Luke and Lee talked, and we've been going great ever since. Like Perth, we had really solid results. Sydney, we were top 5 all weekend, sort of thing, pace wise and results. So Bend, we're in that bingle last weekend. So that again, the Bend's like me arch nemesis, but
Nemesis.
just it's so good to have Lee there and to be able to talk to him about everything, and just keep on to me about training and keep my dedication and work ethic up.
Rusty always said this podcast wasn't just going to be about big-name riders and drivers. There are so many other stories from the world of motorsport, like the cheeky Kiwi Andy McElrea who called on friends and almost Arthur Daly-style tactics to get a start in a major event.
So he kept pestering the poor bugger that was running the Race of Champions, and like a couple of days before the Race of Brands Hatch, he had him convinced that the South Island was its own country and that I should be the first reserve. And a guy called Scott Atchison, who won the American Formula Ford Championship, couldn't make it at the last minute. So I got thrown in, absolutely hopelessly underprepared, but it was an absolutely unbelievable experience.
Andy has gone on to become a very successful team owner, especially in Porsche Carrera Cup in Australia, and recently opened the doors in America too. Now, back to larrikin ute racer Dave Casey.
So you're a positive person by nature. So is it a competitive thing? Do you get a bit sort of down on yourself if you're not able to demonstrate on track? The competitive Dave Casey.
Oh yeah, if you ask Lee, I'm one of the most competitive people you ever meet. I might be always having a laugh and jovial, but I'm very, very competitive, and I like to achieve and win. And actually, going back to that neuro stuff, it's when you win or get an achievement, you get a lot of your dopamine levels go up, and that's we were looking at all of that, and if I get really low dopamine, it's pretty bad. Like I drop off the cliff, sort of thing. So I got to keep the positivity up.
Good on you. Tell me about the Isuzu.
It's a great car. Luke and the boys at Sears Racing built it for us in the off season. They're an LS3 motor built by Warspeed Industries, 500 horsepower, 6-speed manual transmission. 9-inch rear end. But the coilovers are mounted horizontally, like cantilever style, which is very, very different. They got a subframe underneath where the coilovers mount, so that makes it handle better and how they mount and whatnot. 6-pot brake package on the front and a 4-pot in the rear. They stop really, really well. They got a Tilton pedal box, and that's the same one that they run in the supercars. Haltech ECU, Motec dash, all the work's done by, like the fabrication work is done by Pace Innovations. So they're sort of the controlled supplier of all the chassis and cage work and that. The characteristics of them, like when Pace were building them, they wanted them to be the same driving style as a supercar, like as the closest thing you can get. Obviously, they have no aero. They don't run. Mm-hmm. We don't have slick tyres. We have semi-slick. But the actual way you drive them, they want it to be the same as a supercar. And I think a lot of people are realising that now. As the category gets a lot more numbers, there's a lot of serious competitors jumping on board, and it's becoming harder and harder to win a race.
Why has it had such a, particularly this year, why has it had that kind of growth spurt, that increased interest or popularity? What do you reckon's behind that?
A few factors. When they first came out with the diesel, it's taken a while to get rid of. They had a few troubled years with that. So when they went to the switch with the V8, it's taken a few years for people to sort of get over that stigma that the diesel had. And the V8, the crowd loves it, the noise, and it creates better racing. I think the whole appearance of the category has really lifted. We've had a lady named Philippa Guana.
Yes. She's great with videography and socials and all sorts. So,
Yep.
So
she's in charge of the whole administration and media of the whole category now, as of the Bend last year as well. So I think the whole appearance of the category is making raising a few eyelids along pit lane as well, and people like Ryle Harris coming back into the category, Jimmy Vernon. He's a very, very good driver. Adrian Cottrell. All these new additions is making people say, if these guys are coming into it, there's going to be some good hard racing. And it's it must be pretty good, and we might have a look at that. And then I think Luke had a few calls to say, can you organise getting us a few more cars built at the Bend, few more new ones. So it's just growing, and it's affordable too. I think due to the slower economy in that at the moment, it's harder to afford the Super 2, Super 3 path and stuff, and Porsche at the moment. So people are looking for a cheaper option, but still really good hard racing. I think the Utes are getting back to what they were, 5-10 years ago when it was Holden and Ford. That's the aim, and I think it's on the trajectory of going there.
Great stuff. So what's your target this year then, given some of the competitive appearances you've had, with the exception of the Bend and so on? Tell me about what the target is.
We're hopeful for, we're going to be pushing for podiums. We've definitely got the pace now, so that's definitely our, we got that in our sights, that's for sure. There's no question, that's what we're aiming for, so yeah.
That's the short-term objective. Long-term, what do you want to do here? I mean, you've had a great upbringing, if you like, around the four-wheel drive scene in events terms. You're doing some terrific stuff there in Rocky. You're obviously enjoying this whole new circuit racing challenge. What next?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to stick with the circuit racing stuff now. I want to keep my head down and do the best we can in the Utes, master that, and I don't know, just possibly a Super 3, Super 2 stuff into the future. I think that's our long-term goal. Do that and tick it off the bucket list, and just want to be known as a bloke from Rocky having a go, mate, and put it on the map.
Cool. Speaking of having a go, the way you've been able to bring Bendix together here with this program is terrific, mate, because it's kind of real world in some respects. Just give people a sense of the kind of activation you're doing around the partnership that you have here with the Ute and so on.
Yeah, so obviously we do a lot of media stuff on and off the track. We do like Netflix style wrap-ups.
How does Mudflap go with that?
Yeah, we're pretty funny. We've done a bit of meditation last at Sydney round. People are loving that.
Tell us more about that. Come on.
Oh, nothing. The cameraman, Scott, it's sort of like he's got a mic on him and he's talking to me throughout the whole weekend, and he was looking for me, and he come around a corner and I was warming up for a race, and here I am doing meditation, and people are laughing at it.
Where is Dave, mate? Where is he? Oh, there he is. Dave, what are you doing? Dave, come on, mate. What are we doing? Dave.
What are you doing, mate? Trying to get in the zone.
Oh, mate, it's day 2. What are we... What are you doing on over here?
Just leave me be, please.
Oh.
I'm trying to, meditate, get in the zone.
I need an intro to this video, mate. What do we...
Yeah, sorry, mate.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, day 2.
Yeah, look, it's really a nice brisk morning here at Sydney Motorsport Park. We're just trying to get in the zone. We're starting P5 this morning, so we just really need to maximise our start and hold our line so we don't get pushed off the track because, we're up with these front runners this morning.
I'll let you get back in your zen, mate. I'm sorry about that, all right?
Just go away, mate.
All right, shit.
But yeah, we do that, like sort of Netflix style, like wrap-ups and making people feel a part of the event and the whole journey. We do a lot of YouTube stuff, the whole Suzuki build.
Excellent.
With Bendix alongside us. Obviously Rocky Nats, Bendix are heavily involved in that. We allocate a whole site within my precinct and where people can have a look at the brake kits and whatnot they do. Obviously all the racing we do, they're showcased around Australia with our Bendix on the side of our ute.
Couple to finish here. Firstly, will you try and run in a stadium super truck again? Is there any interest to do SST?
Oh, possibly.
Righto. Watch this space then. Okay, watch this space.
Yeah, I have actually heard a few rumours that they might be coming back, so we'll have to wait and see. Yeah.
Okay, don't go any further there. What about the vehicle that is your pride and joy? Is it the Suzuki? What's the one that is, of all of them in the garage, you put a lot of love into that project? Is that the vehicle that you kind of sleep and dream about?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's one. Sad to say, it's little hairdresser's car that I sleep and dream about. But
it's pretty wild.
Yeah. I've got a fair few. I've got a HZ Holden with a LS in it. Sort of all rustic patina. I do a few burnout comps in it, but I don't know. I got married with that car, so it sort of holds a pretty big place in my heart. That one.
Special place.
Yeah. Yeah, probably a Suzuki.
You and Georgia, I think, have got a little one too. Enzo, is that right?
Yeah, me dog. Yeah.
Tell us about Enzo.
Oh, he's the funniest thing you'll ever meet, mate. He's a little border collie. He's got more energy than a kid full of smart, on a bag of bloody jelly beans. But yeah, he goes with me everywhere, that dog. I put him in the back of the HZ. I put him in my utes. He's just always there. He goes everywhere with you, and I don't know how I could live without him now. He's just your best mate. Yeah.
Before you go, what's next on the race schedule for you?
We got Sandown in 2 and a bit weeks now with the supercar, Sandown 500, and then it's actually a really busy few months for us because we're sort of racing every 3 to 4 weeks sort of thing. So Sandown, then straight into Bathurst, and then I think 2.5 weeks, and then we're into the Gold Coast. So
Gold Coast, yeah.
I actually love the Gold Coast. It's probably everyone loves Bathurst, and I do too. But Goldie, I don't know, it's just I love that place. Like it's just
great track.
Yeah, and just the whole vibe. If I win a race at Goldie on Sunday, I'll lay the biggest skid, mate.
It's been awesome to talk to you, mate, and get a bit of a sense of your character. Go well with the rest of the season. Sounds like you're on the cusp, mate. You're on the precipice of that. Hopefully regular podiums. All the ingredients are there. It's been great to chat with you about the 4-wheel drive and the ute journey, and we hope the next chapter is just as exciting for you.
Yeah, thanks a lot, mate. Thanks for having us on,
Rusty's Garage is written and presented by me, Greg Rust. Series editor and producer is Thomas Dullard. Audio production by Link Kelly. If you've got a guest suggestion, get in touch with me via social media. The Garage. That's where a journey begins with a tank full of passion-fueled stories.